let's say my take would be if you're comfortable being uncomfortable, that's the best way to, let's say, start your own path in United States, I would say. My name is Daniel. I'm the founder of Nware, and Nware is a cloud gaming platform that allows you to play any game anywhere. Basically what we do is we allow gamers to bring all their games from stores where they normally purchase their video games, bring them to the cloud and being able to play on their phone, on their laptop, and on any device, basically. I first came up with this idea of creating a platform to allow gamers to play all games anywhere. Basically, when I was back at university, when I was a student, didn't have a lot of budget to play video games. My laptop was really bad, and actually I wanted to play the latest games in the market at that time. So me and my co-founder, Begonia, at the time we started to speak about ideas like, hey, would it be awesome like having the Netflix or the Spotify of video games? That was at the time that we were students. We were thinking about this idea. Everything started up as a hobby. Actually, we were working like late hours, weekends. And let's say that after being able to demonstrate some of the market research that we did and let's say a minimal MVP, we were able to raise capital from angel investors. And that's when we decided to jump full-time on the project. The biggest problem or issue that I've found as not being an American founder actually was an issue or a hurdle with oneself. Basically, the biggest leap that you have to take in order to start something here or moving yourself here, it's about the mindset. It's sometimes hard to leave your comfort zone when if you're a founder and you're creating something or trying to create something big from your own country, moving like taking a flight like 15 hours away from you and started everything from scratch and getting to know new people and trying to build your network here. That's probably the biggest hurdle because you're starting from scratch in some way. But everything is related to how ambitious and what is the urge that you have on yourself. Let's say my take would be if you're comfortable being uncomfortable, that's the best way to, let's say, start your own path in United States, I would say. So the first thing that we achieved in Silicon Valley was being able to start being a strong network of partners, investors. Actually, we've been able to start some very relevant partners with hardware manufacturers for the type of business that we're doing. They're big brands in the gaming space. And all this was thanks to being here. There's a saying that 90% of the efforts or the success that you're gonna have is just being there. And actually that is what you feel when you're in Silicon Valley. Let's say our way of dealing with the current market, it's actually, we're in a time that we're not actually, let's say, in a recession, but actually a correction of the market, as always happens. There has been this market during the COVID where everything was like bumping up and growing like crazy, and there was this madness in the investment world where we were being able to see weird things, and everything is going back to normal right now. So our ways, let's say our way to deal with the situation right now is being reasonable. We're doing a project that it's ambitious, but let's say that everything, even regardless how ambitious the project is, you have to go step by step, and we're having a clear vision of what we want to do as next steps in the following years. And the best way to deal with this situation with investors as they're actually saying, the best ones will survive, and one of the ways of being the best ones is by being reasonable what you're trying to achieve, right? So my experience, let's say, dealing or interacting with my co-founders, first of all, I would say that having a co-founder is a good thing, because I'm not, like trying to say anything bad about solo founders. I actually believe that it's a different path. I would say it's harder because you're on your own, really. There are very successful solo founders, like for example, the founder of Zoom. But actually, one of the positive things about having a co-founder is that you are able to challenge. When there are 2 people, 3, 4 people thinking about the same problem, you get different perspectives about the same problem. And maybe you, as a solo founder, I've had a lot of moments where I have jumped into like fast conclusions about a problem, and maybe that conclusion was not the best one or the best solution at the moment, and being able to challenge and going back and forth with the ideas with other co-founders, I think it's a very healthy way of dealing with problems. So I would encourage people to actually try to find a co-founder where you can have a good chemistry working with. In our specific case, the last funding round that we closed was in November 21. Our lead investor is Draper B1, which is part of a bigger network. The owner of this network is Tim Draper. And let's say that the Draper network has this really cool program, which is the Draper University, and they invited us to be part of this program. So our first, from the beginning, first interaction that we had with Silicon Valley was thanks to this program. First market research that we did in the US was actually taking into account the whole, let's say, Western market in terms of Europe, United States. We were having like a global vision because the type of project that we're building actually is something that doesn't change much. Like if you think about Netflix or Spotify, doesn't change much the product and the pricing and what type of consumer you would have in Europe and United States. So probably at the time we were applying the same concepts and ideas that we had on Europe in United States. But the good thing about United States is that it's a way bigger population with the same culture. So let's say the exponentiality of growth in the United States is way bigger than, for example, in Europe, having a segmented market with different cultures, different languages. That's, let's say, the initial research that we did. And also part of also knowing the market better is actually deploying our servers and our service in United States and know metrics and get to know how US consumers react to the same product that we're providing, for example, in other regions like Latin America or Europe. So the biggest pain points that we are having right now could be related to how do we keep a good pace of growth with the high demand that we're having in the service. Let's say that we are generating a lot of interest all around the world. We are like growing each day. We have an average of 1,000, 2,000 signups on the waiting list in our service. So let's say that the demand of the service is big, and we are doing this specific collaborations with the biggest data centers allocation providers that are in the world right now to make this as fast as possible. So I would say there's a challenge that we knew it was going to happen in our service. Things are going in a good pace, I would say. So it's, let's say, a pain point, but also something that we are happy how we are dealing with. the people or the brands that we would be interested in having partnerships with right now is anyone related to the gaming industry per se. So we're trying to build this open concept of gamers having the freedom to play all games. And that actually involves a lot of stakeholders in the gaming industry. Internet providers, hardware manufacturers, IP creators, game studios, publishers. So right now we're having a good reception. The service that we want to provide, the idea resonates a lot in the industry and with the people that we have been able to have a conversation with, that are decision makers in this industry. So I would say we are welcoming anyone in the gaming industry that wants to also be part of this vision of providing a huge access of a huge catalog of video games anywhere, and having the freedom to play on, for example, your toaster laptop or your phone. I would see my team and I in 5 years probably having a product that is expanded globally, providing service to not only the regions in which we are right now, but let's say having a expanded service on all the regions that are available and in which we know that there are gamers. There are 3 billion gamers in the world, so it's let's say a huge market to tackle. As I said before, we are starting little by little, but I would see ourselves and Nware skyrocketing in the following 5 years. So as I was mentioning before, right now we're providing our service Nware in different regions around the globe. Right now we're in Europe, United States, and Latin America. We know that there are a lot of Nwarriors, Korean Nwarriors in our waiting list, so we're pretty excited about this region and actually the whole Asian region. So if you want to know more about our project, the latest updates that we're doing, or when are we going to be able to deploy our service there, visit our website, playnware.com, where you can test our beta and try our service.